How's it going, Nightmare Cabiners? Welcome back, and hello, stranger, if this is your first video. We're going to be doing an album review today, and it's an album that's I've been scratching my head over for the last couple of weeks, thinking, what is this all about? It's Annihilator's Metal 2, and I'm a big fan of Annihilator. I've got everything they've done, and yeah, I've been kicking around the idea, the long list of bands I want to do on Let's Talk About. I do want to do an Annihilator video one day. But yeah, so we got Metal. Now, when I originally first saw that press release that Stu Block from Into Eternity and Iced Earth is now on vocals and Dave Lombardo's now on drums, made a lot of sense to me. I mean, Dave Lombardo is pretty much a gun for hire at the moment. He's he's always doing different side projects with Mike Padden. He's joined Suicidal Tendencies, but I always got the idea that he would be jumping around where it's suited. I think he was more of a case of filling his schedule rather than having a particular loyalty to a band. So getting Dave Lombardo in for one album would definitely make sense for Annihilator. And in fact, whilst we are on the subject, I've got a little prediction for Testament. I think the bookie's favourite for the new drummer in Testament since Gene Hoglan left is Paul Bostoff, which would make sense. He's been in the band before, but I've got an inkling. I think the metal gods are telling me it's going to be Dave Lombardo. Again, it makes sense. The Gathering is one of Chuck Billy's favourite albums. They've been playing that live in full recently, so for him to jump on board, yes, they've got their current tour to finish, but I think Dave Lombardo being in the band and then playing the Gathering in full, I don't think that would hurt ticket sales. And I think it'll be a decent payday in it as well. I think there is a bit of money in Testament, and I think they could give him a decent wedge to stay. Just weighing it up. So there's a little bonus Testament prediction in there for you. So yeah, I thought Metal 2 was going to be a new album, and it would make sense. Metal 2, you know, some people do that sequel, Operation Mindcrime 2 or whatever. And I'm trying to think of other sequels now where they do such and such too. It's normally a sequel to a concept album, but I'm sure there's been others. But yeah, this would be Metal was kind of a concept anyway because there was so many guests on it. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I thought this was a new album. Then I reread it and I was like, no, this is a re-recording of Metal. And it baffled me. I didn't see what he was trying to do. And apparently there's going to be a new reissue campaign. I think he's just signed a deal with a new record label. And they're going to be reissuing the back catalogue. And I think there's going to be... Well, we'll see. I do like a reissue, it's got to be said. And I do tend to... If the new edition is the better edition, I tend to just discard the other one I've got. I'm not one of these people that particularly fusses over getting like an original press and all that. So yeah, you know, if they throw some extras in, I do like some liner notes. I've contributed liner notes before in some reissues. I think that's a nice thing to have. But photos and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you get your picture. So, I mean, to get a really nice edition, like, you know, with this case here, I mean, I'll show all this off later, but something like this, Alice in Hell, with some decent liner notes, you know, a nice little essay. Bonus, I don't know, a concert from that time, you know, where the sky's the limit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with. And maybe this could be an ongoing thing as well. Maybe they could re-record. You don't have to do the whole album, but maybe a couple of two or three tracks as a bonus thing, like re-recorded Annihilator 2022. That'd be cool. But yeah, whatever. I think their vinyls are coming out. But there was a chance to rework this, and I was scratching my head going, I can't see why he felt the need to re-record Metal. It's a fairly new album. It was, you know, well produced. Dave Padden was the vocalist at the time. He had a 5-album run with the band, and this was album number 3 with them. I thought Dave Padden was a really good vocalist. I think he suited Annihilator really well. I was a bit gutted when he left, and I'm glad now that Stu Block is in the band, because Jeff has said in interviews many times before that he likes Stu Block, and he was saying that he is the vocalist now, or the front man and vocalist, and he went, unless Stu Block becomes available, I'm not going to hire another singer. It's me now. And as much as I love and respect Jeff Walters, he's one of the best guitarists on the planet. He's a competent bass player. He tends to not do drums. He's tried a drum machine. He's tried drumming before. He tends to, when it comes to an album, he tends to hire a drummer. He's a competent vocalist, but I don't think he's a front man. I think he is best on the side, shredding away, being the guitarist. I think Annihilator works better with a front man. And now Stu Block, with everything that went on in Iced Earth and whatnot, I think he's got a decent break. You know, he was Into Eternity, had a pretty good following anyway. I knew he was going to land on his feet. And it all made sense, but it just didn't compute with me why he felt the need. And Mike, I can't pronounce the guy's, Mangini, drummed on this album. For those that don't know, that's the guy that's now currently in Dream Theater. This is the guy that replaced Michael Portnoy. Again, one of the best drummers in the world. To the point where even when Michael Portnoy sort of second guessed and kind of wanted to step it back a bit, went, look, come on, I'm up for rejoining, and they were like, nah, thanks, we've got him, you know. So neither of the people on this, so we've got a new, basically it's all the guitars, everything's the same. Andy Sneap has tweaked the guitar track slightly, and someone else has remixed it with the new vocals and new drums. And we've got 2 new tracks on there, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, it's predominantly the same album, just with new vocals, new drums. And I just thought, well, the people that were on the original album were hardly slouches, you know? So, again, why did he feel the need to do it? Anyway, don't worry, because when you get the album, I might as well show this off now, before I throw it all over the place. Really nice presented, really nice thick cardboard case. Like I say, for Alice in Hell, Neverland, Set the World on Fire, all those great albums at the beginning. I would love to get these in a nice edition like this, with a few extras chucked in would be nice. And you get a little essay here from the man explaining exactly what he was thinking, and it starts to make sense. He said he often gets asked, what's the one album that you wish you could revisit and do again? And he said many people think it is Remains. That was the first album where Jeff did vocals, and he basically did everything on that album, including the use of a drum machine. And he acknowledges, it's been acknowledged by a lot of people that it is pretty much a solo album under the Annihilator name. And, you know, a lot of people aren't too keen on the fact that it's a drum machine, etc., etc. Whether you're keen on drum machines or not, I don't think comes into it. I think at least the band admitted it. You know, it's kind of like that Fear Factory album where they did a drum machine. It's like they didn't hide the fact. They were up front. There was that to it. That album's being re-recorded actually with a drummer. I read the other day, so that's cool. I've gone off on one, haven't I? What was I talking about? Anyway, yes. So he explains that a lot of people think Remains would be the album, but no, he went, for what it is what it is, and I like it for what it is. Metal was the album that he wasn't very happy with. He said there's something about it just didn't quite come out in the wash. The ingredients were all good, but when it came out the oven, something just wasn't quite right. And no disrespect to anyone, but he would have liked to revisit that album. So, and also as the producer and band member, band leader, he takes full responsibility for the album not turning out the way he felt it should have. So that's what he wanted to do. So that's what he's done. There is one song on this is missing. He's actually lost the tapes. What was it for? I think it was Downright Dominate. No. I can't remember which one it is now. I think it might be. He does say it in the thing. Hold on. This is going to piss me off now. So I can't remember which song it is. Operation Annihilation. There you go. Yes, he'd lost his files for that song, so that song is lost. I'm pretty sure whoever released this has got. I'm sure it could be worked with. I mean, he probably couldn't have re-recorded it again, but I can't see why this version of the album can't be reissued. I don't know really why they didn't just do both, like do it as a double CD, but whatever, it doesn't matter. One thing as well, he felt that this album wasn't promoted well. Apparently this album's actually quite hard to get hold of. But you know what us collectors are like. If you went and reissue this one, any album with reworked vocals, they're going to want the original even more. So it doesn't really scratch that itch. But who knows, they may reissue it as it is later, further on down the line. But right, so I read this essay first, and yeah, okay, starts to make a bit more sense. And then I put the CD on. Now, yeah, you've got one song missing. I can't even remember what it is again. Our Operation Annihilation is missing. But what we do have, we have two covers. We have an Exciter cover, Heavy Metal Maniac, and a Van Halen cover, that's it. Romeo Delight, which has a guitar solo, guest solo from Alexis. Oh, his name escapes me. The guy from Children of Bodom. Sorry. I know it's Alex something. Sorry. Yeah. No disrespect to the guy. But yeah, really good Storming cover. Yeah, and so you got one song missing. But one thing is as well, the track listing is rejiggled as well. So on this, Chasing the High, for example, is the closing track. That's the opening track on this one. Shuffling around the song order certainly gives the album a fresh perspective. And yeah, let's get into it now. This feels like a brand new album, totally refreshed and rejuvenated, and a whole new, taken from a whole new angle. Dave Lombardo sounds fantastic on it, and not that again that there was anything wrong with Mike Mangini. And Stu Block, it's got to be said, he breathes fire into these songs. He gives them a whole new lease of life, and I'm a big fan of Dave Padden. But yeah, Stu, he's all over this album. And Dave Padden, I think, was a very good vocalist that used his voice pretty well. But Stu Block's just so much more dynamic. He's going from the full range, from death metal growls, one end, to screaming King Diamond, Rob Halford screams, high-pitched, and he holds them as well. And he's even got these soulful, yeah, you know, that he pulls out from there and then. And he's just a much more dynamic vocalist. That's all there is to it. I don't think that's a controversial statement. I don't think Dave Padden would be particularly offended by that. And again, I love the 5 albums he's done with the band. There's no disrespect to him. I think Stu Block, if he re-recorded many a vocal on any album, he would give the original vocalist a run for their money. Yeah, so it just feels totally revamped, and it feels like a totally different album, and it is well worth investing in. And if you are a fan of it, I mean, if you're a real fan of Annihilator, I think, like me, you would have got this just purely out of curiosity, even though you were scratching your head going, why am I getting this? But yeah, it's definitely well worth investing in, well worth checking out. And if you're new to Annihilator, I would say this is just as good an album to jump on board with. I would say this is, yeah, start here and work your way backwards. And yeah, if you want to check the band out, obviously you can go on YouTube nowadays, but you know, I'm coming from the perspective of just buying an album and taking a shot. Get this, and then when these new reissues come out, go back to the beginning and go from there would be my advice if you are new to the band, and this is as good a place to start as any. And if this, I can't see Dave Lombardo staying in the band, but I can see Stu Block staying in the band. And if this is the first, you know, if this is the introduction to the era of the Stu Block era of Annihilation, yeah, what a great way to start. What a unique way to start. But I look forward to them doing an album together with Stu writing and putting his, you know, his stamp on a blank slate of music rather than music that was already written. Some highlights. Haunted sounds fucking better than ever. Couple Suicide has a slightly different intro, I realised as well. That little bass in the thing is sort of taken down a bit, and the guitars are brought more to the forefront. And Stu's sort of singing over the introduction as well. He's not just doing it word for word and line for line and melody for melody. He's putting his own stamp on stuff. He's completely thrown the book out and done these songs again. These are complete reinterpretations, and yeah, it sounds all the better for it. Smothered sounded really good as well. That sort of stands out now. And Chasing the High, like, it's quite cool hearing it, you know, as an album closer, switching to an album opener. It kind of just puts a new light on that song as well. So that's really cool. So yeah, sorry Jeff, should never have doubted you. And I'm really happy with this. I'm glad I took a, because I was thinking, do I really have to? And I thought, oh, come on, you've got the whole collection, you need it, you know. And yeah, really pleased with this. A real pleasant surprise. This is definitely worth your time. Well, check it out. The guitars sound awesome. The album sounds heavier than it sounded originally. It's got much more punch. Yeah, I can totally see now why Jeff felt the need to go back and just give this the lick of paint that it needed. So yeah, hats off to Jeff. And I look forward to these new reissues. I'll be, like I say, I wanted to do a what's it called? My own series that I forgot the title of. Let's talk about. If you're new to the channel, I basically go a band and I go through their entire back catalogue, disc by disc, and I hold them all up and I show you off my collection and all that. And I was intending to do an Annihilator, one of them, but I think I might just wait for these reissues to come out and just do it bit by bit like that and go along. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy it, definitely check this out. Give us one of them. Subscribe if you feel the need to, if you want to stay in touch. And if you're a regular viewer, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Have a good weekend, everyone. Take care.